Hello and welcome to 7 Days. Zack Yusof here with a quick recap of some of the top stories from the last week. At the top of the show, at least 70 people were killed and hundreds more injured when a suicide bomber hit a neighborhood park in the eastern city of Lahore on Easter Sunday. The Taliban faction has claimed responsibility for the attack. The Easter bombing was Pakistan's deadliest attack since the 2014 school massacre, also claimed by the Taliban, killed 134 students. Sunday's attack, which included 29 children amongst the dead, showed that the militants can still cause carnage despite military raids on their northwestern strongholds. Now, in the 2 days following the bombing, Pakistani authorities detained more than 5,000 suspects before eventually releasing most of them, whilst military and government officials said that the military was preparing to launch a new paramilitary counter-terrorism crackdown in Punjab in the wake of the latest bomb attack by the Taliban. Tell you what, nasty stuff there, really sad indeed. Our hearts go out to the family of the victims. Coming up next, a flyover under construction collapsed in the Indian city of Kolkata on Thursday, killing at least 23 people and injuring more than 150 others. The flyover, which had been under construction in the middle of a crowded commercial area in central Kolkata for the past 6 years, came crashing down on Thursday, whilst huge numbers of pedestrians and dozens of taxis were waiting underneath, according to a police officer. Rescuers worked through the night with cranes and jackhammers to clear some of the wreckage and free access to vehicles with people still trapped inside. Getting survivors to hospital was complicated by the lack of access for ambulances to the flyover, which is crowded by buildings on either side. Safety standards were lax, according to witnesses. Moving along, Amnesty International has urged FIFA to put pressure on Qatar after reporting human rights abuses at the renovation of a 2022 World Cup stadium. Dozens of construction workers from Nepal and India were charged recruitment fees by agents in their home countries, forced to work long hours, housed in squalid accommodation, and barred from leaving the country by employers in Qatar, who also confiscated their passports, Amnesty said in a report released on Thursday. The head of Qatar's Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy, which is responsible for delivery of all tournament-related infrastructure, said Amnesty had identified challenges in worker conditions and Doha was working to reduce these kinds of abuses, which he said occurred on construction sites all over the world. Amnesty said it interviewed 132 workers involved in the rebuilding of the Khalifa Stadium, a vast sporting complex in Doha that is part of a $200 billion construction boom in the gas-rich Gulf state that will host a World Cup quarter-final. Now, the alleged ill-treatment of workers on a high-profile project does raise questions about recent reforms in the country, which has said it will improve foreign workforce conditions. Coming up, Comedian of the Year and Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump said that he refuses to take the use of nuclear weapons off the table, including in Europe or the Middle East, during an MSNBC interview on Wednesday. Trump said he would consider using a nuclear weapon if the US were to be attacked by the Islamic State group. In a typically controversial interview, Trump also called for a major change in US nuclear policy in East Asia, a region dominated by nuclear threats from North Korea. Now, the man with the distinctive comb-over hairdo said he would let Japan and South Korea build their own nuclear weapons to deter enemies rather than just rely on America for protection. Now, in response to Trump's latest outburst, the White House said that the prospect of Japan and South Korea obtaining nuclear weapons would be incredibly destabilizing. Wow, Donald Trump, I tell you what, he was amusing before, but now he's getting a tad scary if you ask me. Speechless, really. And finally, Ronnie Corbett, the bespectacled British comic legend, best known as the small half of the hit television double act The Two Ronnies, has died surrounded by his family, his publicist said on Thursday. Corbett was 85. As the smaller half of the two Ronnies, Corbett became one of the most loved and popular comedians in the UK. Besides the two Ronnies, the diminutive comedian, who only stood at 5'1", also found success with the popular sitcom Sorry. Rest in peace, Ronnie Corbett. Thanks so much for all the happy memories. You will not be forgotten. So until next time, have a great week.